name is Caroline Shaw. Partita for 8 Voices is a piece that I wrote a few years ago for a group called Roomful of Teeth. I think I'd always had this idea of making music that has a total sense of chaos that somehow congeals into one thing. Roomful of Teeth is a vocal ensemble of 8 singers. We're classically trained, but we've studied different techniques from around the world, and we try to find new colors and new ways of using the voice, and we commission new music.
The Partita for 8 Voices she composed partially on late night strolls through Times Square, and this piece won a Pulitzer Prize, and she was the youngest composer to ever win the Pulitzer.
I'm Kim Whitener. I'm one of the founding co-directors of Prototype Festival, dedicated to contemporary composers in opera theater and music theater, and here we are 7 years later in the middle of Times Square. We really felt excited about the idea of bringing this concept of opera theater and music theater to the public.
The first year that I moved to New York in 2008, I sang a Christmas Eve service of midnight mass at St. Mary the Virgin on 46th Street. And after the mass at like 1 a.m. I walked through and just like feeling the kind of chaos of this place. And there's a mixture of the sacred and the profane right next to each other, which I think is part of Partita.
I am Raul Zbengec. I am the curator of Out of Bounds, of which this piece is a part of.
At first I thought, that's crazy. How are you going to hear anything? There's so much traffic, there's so much noise, there's so many people.
The staging for the singers was to maintain some physical presence in the space.
My name is Jimena Garnica. I am the artistic director and choreographer of LEIMAY. LEIMAY is an ensemble.
The dancers and the way she worked with them was a punctuation for the piece, and maybe an expansion of the inherent rhythms of both the score itself for the partita, but also these rhythms that exist on Times Square.
The patterns of people walking on the sidewalk, the different kinds of ways that we move and the way we get out of each other's way come together, which is all in the piece. The text, there's a mix of wall drawing directions from Saul LeWitt and square dance calls, basically any text that kind of suggests a pattern but can be woven into a sound. We usually perform kind of facing each other, really ordered, and here Jimena had us facing out the whole time.
Times Square was a perfect place for this because it had all this multiplicity of spaces and times.
It was kind of a spiritual experience, actually, to look around at people. Some people didn't know what was going on.
I'm fascinated with those moments when the familiar suddenly turns unfamiliar, and then there is a space of indeterminacy here where you don't know what could it be.
I had a huge smile on my face the whole time, and part of that was just kind of looking around and feeling the epic nature of being here in this place.
The audience was transfixed.
The detail of the pattern is movement.
It's magic.